Actually, Maggie, can you stand up and talk? So I want to make sure that we can keep this for later.
Sure.
Thanks.
Okay, so for we kind of had like a few steps for each one. For the pesticide use thing, I think it sounds like your guys are kind of it too. But first step was finding out exactly what is used and how much is used and when they spray and or whatever. So figure out exactly what's going on before we make any drastic decisions. But then draft a letter and get a bunch of signatures from individuals and student groups and faculty, GSIs, all that stuff. And then figure out who has the power to make the changes to stop using the pesticides. And then if that doesn't work, then to go more public with some kind of campaign. But it doesn't sound like that has happened in the past to bring that letter to whoever could change. So start with that. Jump in if I'm missing anything.
Specifically target Memorial Glade at first because they spray a lot of herbicides and stuff around the trees. Wherever you see those circles around the trees, ladies, don't sit there. You'll have weird children. But anyway, I feel like it would be pretty easy to get a lot of signatures because so many people hang out on the glade and so many people would be in support of not sitting in person events. So that's a good starting point for that.
And then forest degradation, come up with a list of the top 10 most harmful products and publicly, have an education campaign for what on campus is having major problematic effects. We were thinking of those little, the little pocket sheets that have the red fish, green fish, yellow fish, what you should never eat and then what you should eat instead, and have the really bad products, but then offer alternatives. So we're talking about at UC Santa Barbara, they banned virgin paper. Is that what you were calling it?
And associated students, we only use 80%.
Yeah, so some kind of initiative like that.
And
education. Mauricio has lots of facts about forest degradation.
Please don't get him started.
Yeah, but just in general, we came up with a theme of we really need a bunch of education campaigns for all of these issues and figuring out ways to get the facts across to the wider public. And then energy. Do you guys want to talk about energy?
So can we just make sure we get the 4 points or so?
So for forest degradation, education campaign, and eventually ban certain products on campus in terms of paper and sourcing for that, but also Cal dining issues. And then that list of really bad ones and alternatives.
Okay, and then did we identify any student groups or campus or
Cal dining sustainability interns.
The forestry club.
Oh yeah, we want to partner with the forestry club more.
Okay.
Okay. Energy. You guys want to take that one? Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about increasing solar use at Berkeley. We really want to focus on getting a plan to get more renewables on campus. So what we want to do is we want to go through the Office of Sustainability and how this would be a project and get funding for that. And we really want to focus on, because Connie and I work on this in Steam Energy, where we're trying to get more solar panels built in Berkeley. And the big thing the administration has told us, and the administration is actually in favor of more solar, is that we need more student support. So what we want to do is gauge that student support, and if it's not there, educate them so that support can grow. So what we want to do is show them my power.berkeley.edu, interface that more with the campus, and then do polls through the ASUC, different polls like that to see what the support is, then have an educational campaign, and then we were thinking about having a referendum. After we build our case throughout the year, at the spring semester, we get a kind of referendum and either get more solar panels or create a policy in which all new buildings have to have renewable energy. Anything else?
Oh, so then we went over CMed. We only had about 3 minutes left, so we didn't get to talk about it that much. But we already know that a lot of stuff happening with fossil fuel divestment on campus is going on. So we decided that we should probably focus a little bit more on CMed since it is coming up and try to get that bill passed. So do some rallies, do more education for everything. Make sure everyone knows what it is and how it can help us and how it can affect the campus. And then also just promote the beneficial effects like financially for it, so that people are really for it, and so you'll get people who might not even be for it to be willing to sign on and be willing to say that they're for this.
And then really quick, a couple things for the education. Getting ourselves back into CalSOs. I guess they like took out the STEAM video or something, and the Food Collective had a lot of success having presence at CalSOs, and so getting freshmen thinking about all of these issues early. So I don't know if anyone has resources for who to talk to with that.
Residential sustainability program.
Yeah, and then the other one was to have a bunch of really cool videos, and Carly was talking about a class through Global Poverty in Practice that makes really cool videos about things, and people respond to that. So
Yeah, and also as far as the videos go, there's someone that is possibly going to be part of CIRC next year, and she's going to do it anyways. Is she's going to do a decal on, it's going to be Berkeley Environmental Media Group. So that's going to be a decal and a student group. So that'll be something that all groups will have as a resource to make groups or make videos. So yeah, now our group over there. So just really quick, we have about 8 minutes until 12:30, but we're not meeting out there until 12:40, so we can go to like 12:35.
So I think I was talking about was like discipline. So three things that we kind of were brainstorming about were greenwashing, appropriation of by corporations to exploitation, and definition of sustainability. So things that we came up with is being more transparent on campus in terms of like what people are using while dining, or how we're spraying the glade with carcinogens. And so one of the things we also came up with is supply chain management. So how are we like using procedures throughout campus and how to make that more environmentally sustainable. Someone mentioned doing research and results. So once we have those results, we can inform people on campus and then kind of get the momentum started for changing policy. And we were thinking in terms of educating people. We could have a campaign as in what is sustainability, because I know a lot of times people just use logos or little pictures just so they can claim something when they're really not doing anything sustainable. So for that, I know we mentioned a lot about education. Having that screen decal will definitely help to bridge all of these issues that we're talking about. And student body administration, that will work with CIRC, obviously, office sustainability, and the residence hall association.
So our next topic was waste, and particularly what we wanted to focus on was e-waste as a whole. The first topic we started off with was just the idea of the name of e-waste, or do we want to try and change certification because we're saying that it's called waste, that it's sort of meant to be thrown away, so we kind of want to find a name or sort of change the aura of it so it doesn't seem like we're actually throwing things away, but instead we're recycling or reusing. That's something better in that regard. But more on that, we focus particularly on visibility and the availability of disposal for electronic items. And so we kind of wanted to tap into ways in which we could educate students and residents alike. So we talked about CalSO, which might be a little bit difficult, but that might be something looking into for next year. The rest halls, of course, looking with RSP, the co-ops, the Greeks, working with CRRS, the refuse services for the campus. And the other thing, really on top of visibility, is focusing on putting more bins around. And I think other than that, more or less what we're working on.
Okay, so we talked about animal rights also. So right now we feel like there's not much being done about animal rights on campus. There was Meatless Mondays that were initiated, but I feel like it just didn't follow through. So we're trying to take that back with Cal Dining. We're going to push for all of their locations to have no meat on Mondays, but in addition have a bunch of educational materials for that. We're going to hopefully start on that during the summer so that when, like, working with it so that in fall when all the freshmen come, it's just going to be the thing. You know, it's not going to be weird, like, in mid-semester to stop it. We feel like it might be more effective that way. And then hopefully that'll open up the discussion for animals within sourcing and animal testing policies. So yeah, we're planning on working with Cal Dining by having a lot of work with different committees and working groups. But I don't think it'll be too hard to just talk to them. If not, we're gonna be getting groups together.
So last but not least, we have environmental health and justice. We're a great group, a lot of great things to say. A big umbrella topic that we discussed were chemicals and the proliferation of them and how they're just so widespread and crazy and have all these horrible health effects and whatnot. And I know the Glade was brought up earlier and pesticides. Great job. We're on the same boat as you guys. We actually came up with a campaign. It's called Save Every Blade on the Glade. So we're really into that. We're not down with those phytochemical circles that are around the trees and stuff. Yeah, please do not sit there. You know, we're thinking of having like maybe a demonstration with like hazmat suits and blocking the area off. Like, oh, like this is a contaminated zone. Like, please do not stay here. But we think the biggest issue with this topic is transparency, and it's really important to let everybody know, and the whole education aspect that we've been talking about is super key. And we just also noted that, you know, the impact of like the environmental impacts that come about from these, you know, health injustices or whatever you want to phrase them, really impact disenfranchised groups and minorities a lot more than the average person. And we identified some groups to help potentially with this campaign that we thought of: STEAM, SOGA, CERC, ERG, TGIF, CNR and ESPA, like the academic departments, and get their labs and their research. PBCS, EHA, NS. All right.
If we don't do the demonstration, like.
Oh yeah, we want to put signs on the Glade. We think that'd be really good. You know, like,
Do not sit here. This isn't sprayed.
yeah, like let them know the truth. You know, because I don't think a lot of people know. A lot of people sit on those areas. You know, like I have before. I asked my professor Miguel out here. If you guys don't know, he's like the godfather of agroecology. I was like, yo, Miguel, what's up? Like, why? I was like, why is it brown around these trees and stuff? And he told me, you know, and I was like, wow, like that's cool. We should let everybody know. So I think that'd be a really cool campaign for next year.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We are done. Does anyone have any comments or anything that we think we should tell the future people?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, what exactly are the next steps? Because, like, I'd like to get in contact with people about the pesticide issue on the Glade, like, ASAP, like, tomorrow.
All right. Yeah.
It's such like a point of process, the way that it has been done before. The reason it's so important to get this all done before spring semester, so we can identify people who will be around during the summer or who are open to like being part of it during the summer. So the next step really is to form that working group or that core group who are willing to work on these and figure out the next steps during the summer. And if that involves talking to people about pesticides, or if that involves negotiating with Cal Dining about like meat and sourcing and that sort of stuff, that would be happening over the summer with this group of people. So now that we have all of us on the table, community input in all these categories, we just have to get a committed group of people together to sort of begin executing the directives of the community. So if y'all are interested, please do stay in touch.
Yeah. And come by CERC. CERC's more than happy to help facilitate these projects and get them started and whatnot. We have general meetings every Tuesday, 237 Wolford at 6:30. Come by, email us, good follow.
Yeah, I know over here this summer is still like one of the first things my mom told me to do if I work with other people on some initiative or something, get their contact information. So yeah, like, if you guys are seeing over summer, it looks like we're not doing
Yeah, we can, I think we have video evidence of everyone here, and I have everyone's contact information. So we can, I can be in charge of sending that out. I think I've pretty much accepted a couple of people's contact information. But, yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.